Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the charts to take a look at everything XRP and what has been going on most recently. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find, so why not check it out? Right, let's jump right down into this, right? Let's keep this nice and brief. Let's see what's been going on and give you my thoughts on what I think is likely to occur next, right? So basically XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source, and we can see that we were tracking this large ABC move coming down, right? Big A wave, big B wave just up here bouncing. And then we pull back down. Now, we need to do some measurements here because this structure has come down quite low. We've got the 5 waves inside there, the final C wave down lower. But what I want to do is I want to just check. I don't think we are going to come anywhere near. No, we aren't, so we're fine. We're all good on the impulsive structure for the larger time frames. So that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back into this. Right, we can see that we've actually come down to the 3.618. Okay, and this is where we've currently bounced from, and that would be our final 5th wave coming lower. When we take a look at this, we could articulate that as a big 5-wave drop. And I'm not anticipating us needing to come down lower than this point, but again, if Bitcoin decides it wants to or needs to for whatever reason, then we should be thinking that it's a possibility, and we cannot simply ignore that. But for the most part, we've actually got a 335 correction, which is basically just an ABC overall with those as the subwave counts. So at this point here, we need to be thinking about some kind of bounce upwards before we continue this run to the downside, okay? But we are tracking really, really well so far, all of that being a potential big A wave, okay? And this is really important because what we're hoping to see now is essentially, 3 waves come up here, and this would be our B wave bounce, okay? Now, where do I think this is likely to go? It's really hard to say until at least we get an A wave in, and we can kind of hypothesize a little bit about that then. But I am anticipating towards the 80-cent range. And then from there, what we will be looking for is another kind of ABC taking us down towards our lower trend line, okay? This is an area that we've hit a couple of times, and it'd be really nice to kind of get this one all the way down into that low range of around 56 cent, maybe a little bit higher than that. So essentially we're talking about maybe moving up towards 80 cent and then pulling back down to the kind of high 50s, early 60s, okay, because that will essentially will put us in a really good spot for what is going on with the daily time frame, okay? So at the moment, it does look like we seem to be finding a bit of a bottom. So let's go ahead and jump down into the recent kind of candles here. What's actually occurring at this particular point is some kind of ABC move. We've got a lot of selling pressure also occurring. The sentiment isn't necessarily great right now, and I think it's important that we understand that we've actually just got rejected from the 786 there. So this is an ABC move. But it's important that we understand that there's stuff going on in the United States, that could, potentially have an impact on the crypto in terms of those interest rates, etc. So I think, we should be open to the idea that 2 things could potentially happen, obviously, and this is going to be super obvious. But if the news that comes out is deemed to be good, then we are going to significantly rally. If we see news that is bad or deemed to be bad, I don't think we're going to crash too far, but there is going to be a pullback. Okay, I think Bitcoin will pull back a little bit, and the rest of the crypto space will kind of retrace with it. Now, there will be a difference in the scale of that, right? I would expect us to move up rapidly if it's good news, and to kind of just slowly come down a bit. I wouldn't expect us to drop down hard if it's bad news, okay? And the reason for this simply comes down to the stochastic RSI and the momentum behind the price, right? So here we can see that we need a correction on our hourly chart. So if there is bad news that comes in, we're just going to move that stochastic down to the oversold area. That's kind of how I see it. We might lose this low point. It might come down a little bit lower and all of that. That's a possibility. But for the most part, I wouldn't expect it to be a major kind of like big drop like this kind of degree of things that we've seen previously, right? Or if I shoot on out here, Nothing to this kind of degree, nothing to think that we're going to drop down that massive amount, right, in such a short space of time. And there'll be a reaction. There might be some crazy wicks and then a bounce up as the market realizes actually it's not too bad, and all that. But what we want to think about is the 4-hourly is already oversold, the 8-hourly is oversold, the daily is oversold, and the weekly, well, the weekly is starting to come down already, okay, which is basically indicating to me that we are about to see another push upwards. Now, on that daily chart, why do I think all of this? Well, I think we need to bounce up, okay? And we need to bounce up because we need to see a big ABC on our daily chart, specifically within this E wave just here, okay? I spoke about this yesterday and pretty much, quite frequently. Let me just get rid of the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗧 here. Let me get rid of that. There we go. This is a big A wave coming up to the highs, the lows, or the B wave low kind of inside this triangular wedge, and then the C wave coming up towards 997, right? So from March 2020, where the low, I think, for XRP was 14.3 cent, to the highs, where we were close to $2. I think this came in at 190, where are we? 196.6. Okay, that was a high point. Then we pulled back down into the lows, of June and July, rallied up, and then pulled back down and so forth. Right, essentially all of this coiling up that's occurring here for XRP is essentially an Elliott wave triangle inside the B wave of a big ABC. Okay, now that E wave is the last wave of this move, right? We spoke about this way back in January, and essentially this is why I was saying it's going to potentially be absolutely huge in 2022, because simply this E wave, that's forming right now, we want to see this as a big ABC. So the A wave comes down, B wave goes up towards the 80 cent, and then we pull back down towards our low trend line. That would complete the E wave move on this daily chart and start the big push to the upside. Obviously, I think there's going to be a catalyst that sits behind this move. It's about, from the current price, about 13x move, about 1,300%. To get us into the 1-to-1 ratio with the A and the C wave. Ultimately, the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, I think, is going to be the catalyst that really starts to hammer this one behind it. So we'll have a bit of a run up, then a bit of a pullback, and then I think something might happen with the SEC Ripple lawsuit, and basically we end up with a really big overextended wave, and then we pull back down, and then we push up one final blast, and we get to the $9.97 approximate target. I'm expecting it to be a 5-wave count in here. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays out. But again, it's too hard to really know when it comes to XRP with the lawsuit, whether or not we're going to have that really good structure appear, or whether or not it's going to be quite choppy, like we saw with Wave A, okay? But essentially, that's kind of what we're tracking here. And right now, we're actually looking for the move upwards because we're so heavily oversold. So whether there's good news or bad news today, I think the downside is limited by the 𝗕𝗪𝗧𝗧 and the momentum behind the price. It's kind of oversold everywhere. Sellers are exhausted, so buyers are likely to take control. If it's good news, I think there's going to be a significant bounce to the upside, and then basically a pullback afterwards as profits are then once again taken off the table, and we continue the run down into a deeper C wave to complete the E wave just here on the daily chart, and essentially then start that bigger move out of this triangle and into the C wave, which will be absolutely fantastic here for XRP. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.